good evening, and we are back for our Women's Month celebration. And tonight we have Gloria with us, and we're going to talk about women in tech, right? So, as we explain, every night between 8 and 9, we are going to connect with different women, various facets of life, various stages of their lives, and we're just going to talk about women in general and also just celebrate them a little bit more. And so tonight we're talking about a little bit more about women in tech. Um, and then she's going to also maybe try and motivate some of our younger viewers to get into the tech industry a bit more. So we're going to allow Gloria to say hello and just explain a little bit who she is.
Hi everyone. My name is Gloria Mahope. I'm a software developer. I'm an artist, a musician. I am a business owner, a director, a CEO. Um, I am a student of the digital tech world. I'm currently studying data science and also in a Women in Business program that is sponsored by the city of Cape Town, based in Woodstock, facilitated by CAPACITI Tech Accelerator program. I'm also, I started my IT programming studies back in 2004 after I finished my matric in 2003 at Varsity College, where I did IT programming, and my second year I chose to continue with hardware engineering. So when I'm done with it, I actually started working because I was making money. So I work for different companies, but it was not IT related. I guess I was not yet 100% oriented into the digital world. So I decided later to go back to school, and I enrolled myself into Capacity Tech Accelerator programs, which are meant to empower females and IT graduates in general from the city of Cape Town, which is sponsored by the city of Cape Town. So I've been empowering myself through those programs. I've graduated in the Java program. I've graduated in a Women in Business Tech Tools program, which empowers women in business based in Cape Town with tech tools for running your business, project management, etc., so that you can be able to relate into the global space. Yeah, that's me. Hey, there's a lot about me. I don't even know that is, but yeah, that's the beginning of my introduction. If you want more, you'll get it as we continue to engage in conversation.
Yeah, you have a whole mouthful when it comes to CVs and what you have done. I don't know where you get time to even go shopping, because the list that you sent me, I don't even know where to start. So, what made you go into IT programming?
Well, my passion, I've always been a musician and artist. That's all I want to do. I just want to sing. But the reality is, I started singing from a very young age. Since I was born, I was already in magazines. My mom would get me out there into competing for the cutest baby in the country. So I always had a pressure in the family to be a role model, and I was always regarded as a star of the family. So I continued from primary school, actually from preschool. I went into a preschool that was um, managed by my grandmother, who was the principal of the preschool at the time. So imagine your grandmother is the principal of the school, so there is a pressure on you. You have to be the best because you can't afford to be on the list of the naughty kids when your grandmother is. So
Okay.
I've always had the pressure of trying to set an example for the siblings that are coming after me, growing up from the Cape Town townships of Guguletu with crime and a lot of things going on around. So all the kids that they could do was to invest their time and energy into school and extramural activities after school. So after school, we'll sing in local community choirs, we sing in church for Sunday school, we sing in our schools, be it preschool or primary school or high school. I've always been into the music space.
Mm.
So whilst I was in high school, I eventually got to represent the country in UK in music. So my mom was like, okay, that's it. You've done all you could do. You've represented the country in countries overseas, but you don't see money with this music. So you're going to stop
Mm.
music now. After matric, you're just going to focus on school. And I would decide what you need to do because it seems like you don't know what to do besides music. So she brought me into that class. I didn't like
Yeah.
it, but I didn't have a choice. So that's how I got enrolled into Varsity College. And then I started hanging around people that were into the tech digital world, tech savvy.
Yeah.
So, when you have friends and you're spending most of your time into that space, you end up adopting the lifestyle, the culture, and your interest into the space grows. So it
Yeah.
grew. But I still had that thing that I'm a star. I just need to perform. So this I'm just doing it so that my mom can be happy. I can finish tertiary and get a good job so that I can live on my own and continue singing.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom forced me into it. That's the long and short of it. And yeah, I'm glad.
But
Today, I was telling her this year that I'm grateful that you forced me to do that because she was like, after so many years, that was in 2004, in 2021, only then you sent me. I'm like, I didn't know that things were going to happen like they do. So she was like, yeah, you better start listening to me. So, yeah, I'm grateful
it,
because of my
it,
mother.
yeah, moms knows best, eh? That's what they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but
Now I know
even
that I'm a mother myself.
now you know, yes. But even though you say your
Yeah.
mom forced you into it, I see that you also did like Java graduating. What does Java mean? What is that for us that's not into IT? What is that?
Java is one of the coding languages. So, computer engineering or programming, it's like a set of languages that the computer understands. So, in order for you to be able to direct or order a system to perform a certain function, you need to be able to communicate with it. So languages are different depending on what is it that you want to create with the computer, what is it that you want the computer to do for you. So
Mm.
Java is just one of the computer languages, and even that, it's because I was in Cape Town, sitting there unemployed, and as I was job hunting, I saw that wow, Capacity Accelerator program has got an opportunity for um, Java programming trainings, and they actually even
Yeah.
offer stipends. So I was like,
Mm.
wow, why not do it? Because when I looked at their requirements, I qualified for it, and then I jumped right in, and then that's when I met a community of developers from different schools and different backgrounds.
Mm.
We got together and we started building a community. Even today, we've got teams like, we choose people that we are on the same direction with in the class, and then we'll open up teams on Slack, WhatsApp groups, etc., where
Mm.
we constantly engaging and talking about what's happening, what's in, what's new, because IT is changing all the time. People come up with
Mm.
a solution today, tomorrow there's a new solution. So you have to constantly engage and inform yourself and study and just be
Mm.
in the space and love it. So if you're just doing it
Mm.
for money, it doesn't work. You have to fall in love with it. So over the years, I realized that, okay, this is the new future. If I don't do this, and then I'm going to be locked out, I just might as well start loving it. And when I realized the benefits of actually being tech savvy, then I'm grateful to my mother for it.
Yeah, yeah. I like that you mentioned that it's like with technology, you kind of have to change with it because what works today is not going to work next week. Do you maybe think that is the reason why there's such it's almost like a male dominated space? Because as women, we're always so busy with kids and all of these things that we can't really keep up with what is going on in the tech world.
Yeah, but first of all, you must remember that as a country, we have more women than males. So we've
Oh.
got a country that is female dominated. And then we've got a country that is have has challenges within the employment sector. We've got
Mm.
a country that has got challenges regarding um, land issues for shelter, for human shelter. We've got a country that has got challenges so regarding food and food security for the communities. So all of these things, they affect each other. You can't really put it into one space. What exactly is the issue that is challenging women not to be dominant into the IT space?
mm,
So I think women, yes, we are affected more because we are mothers.
mm,
We have to take care of the children. Taking care of the
mm,
children, it goes all the way from food, shelter, preparing them from school, making sure that when they come back from school, they do their homework, making sure that they are ready for school again tomorrow, all of that. So it takes a lot on our shoulders that we don't even have time to get into the workspace or be creative enough to create our own businesses
mm,
or study even because we don't have time. We are swamped into house chores.
mm,
So it's
mm,
quite a few of us that get to be in that space, and most of us is because we are fortunate enough to have parents that guide us through that journey. And
mm,
some of them, the ones like I'm from the township, I was born in the township of Tukuletu. I can tell you about an issue of the network connection. There isn't
mm,
enough to accommodate everybody. So only the
mm,
employed ones have access to the internet because they get to go to town and work
mm,
and engage, and then they will steal moments from work to actually do their own work or whatever, start their own business. But the moment you get home into the township, you don't have connection to the internet, you can't communicate, you can't study, you can't do researches, you just can't do anything. So
mm,
imagine, I feel like the community from the township, they are locked out of the digital world, as well as
mm,
the ones from the rural areas. I've got a grandmother from the rural areas. I can't call her. I can only go and visit her. And when I go to visit her, I need to understand that I'm going to be locked out of the digital space. Therefore, I
mm,
can't access my emails or any other platform. So I think people are locked out. It's not the lack of interest. When you lock out, you don't understand what's going on. And when you don't understand what's going on, you can't have an interest because there's no motivation. So you see the digital world as a threat that is threatening your
mm,
security and bringing in robots that are going to take over your job, and you lose on the food security that you're working for because all you work for is food security and shelter. You can't do more with your money. So all
mm,
our parents can do is empower us to embrace the technology world, but those parents that cannot afford to get their children the tech tools that are
mm.
going to make them comfortable in that space to learn more, then it, it's out of their
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you, yeah. And I like the fact that you mentioned all these things because a lot of times because maybe we have internet at home, we think everyone has that option. And we kind of forget that a lot of people do not have that option. It's like a luxury. And that
Mm.
now you expect everyone to be in this technology space, but then a lot of kids are losing out on it, and we are not making it accessible for them to get into that space. Even though that is
Yeah,
the way the world is going.
yeah. To add on that, from personal experience, like I graduated from a women in business program from CAPACITI, which is meant to empower females in Cape Town that have their own businesses with tech tools in order to be able to relate into the global economy. But
Mm,
now the problem is that during the lockdown, I was attending the course during the lockdown because I'm fortunate enough to have a mother that stays in Joburg in the suburbs, so I can just go there and have unlimited access to her Wi-Fi. But now, for an ordinary female that is in the township of Cape Town, these programs are meant for them. And then there comes with COVID, and then we're supposed to stay at home, isolate, and then you do online studying and attend these
mm,
courses live, virtually, whilst you are
mm,
in the township. There's no network, it's overpopulated. How are you going to do that? You
mm,
understand?
mm,
You don't
mm,
have
mm,
money. When you try and buy gadgets, you are not safe because there's no security. The few people that have tech tools to empower the communities, they get robbed because people are hungry. They'll do anything to destabilize anybody that looks like they're having a softer life in them, not realizing that this person is actually working on opportunities that are going to develop the community. So people are not informed. They don't understand these gadgets. these tech tools. So they just do whatever they can to survive so they can eat.
mm,
It's
mm.
sad, you know, it's really sad. But
Yeah, yeah.
what can we
Like I
do?
said,
That's the question.
yeah, yeah, that is the question. But I mean, again, talking with different people in the different um, spheres of where they are in life, we are enlightened now. And again, we bring a bit more kindness to, we normally just say, yeah, they don't want to do that and they don't want to empower themselves. Now we know from the other side what is the struggles actually to get to just empowering yourself. You have to jump
Mm,
through a bit more hurdles to get there. So I like the fact that you open that up to us as audience to understand that part of it, and not just assume that everyone doesn't want to empower themselves. And again, it gets to that thought of, as we in the different phases of our lives, we have different priorities. It's like a hospital when you go triage. They first fix the people that is close to death before they fix you that is broken knee. Um, and
mm,
so in women, that is what we do as well. We fix everything up else. We rear the children. We see that there's food and all of these things before we get to empowering ourselves. And then that is
yeah.
when we get to that, it's almost too late because then we're like 40, 50 um, type of situations. Um,
Mm.
so you mentioned that yes, your mother kind of forced you into the tech world, but then you also said afterwards that you can now see what advantages there is for tech. Maybe you can share that with us. What is some of the advantages that you found it is keen for having technology or knowing about technology?
Knowing about technology world has made me realize that most of the hard labor that I do, or most of the people in my community do, they don't have to. We can have computers to replace that, and then, but the only way we could do that is if everyone is tech savvy, and then we are working as a team in unity. Because tech world can be such a lonely world. Because if I'm the only one in the community who understands what's going on, everything that I'm trying to implement, I have to take an extra effort to convince the people, and they will keep on
Mm,
rejecting it. But if you've got a few people in a team, you're working together, and at least I feel like people they can see we work faster, and people can actually see the benefits of having of living in the digital world.
mm,
So yeah, all yeah all I can say is that the only solution that I have is to connect with tech savvy people in my community, and we
mm,
open up a group, and then we discuss issues and challenges that we're having, and we've been doing that. I've got a group of a few students from CAPACITI. We
mm,
are trying to discuss what can we do, what solutions can we bring on board. There was a recent taxi issue in Cape Town, and we're also discussing that what solution can we bring for the taxi industry so that the people's lives are not at risk, so that it is easier for people to use taxis and reduce the violence, and also uh,
mm,
whatever challenges they have in the industry. But we've
mm,
just been looking in quite a lot of possible solutions for our communities. So, because if we implement one solution and then they see that it's actually convenient and it buys them time to do more
mm.
things, and then they will embrace us and want us to do more. So, we're just looking at just taking it one day at a time, and coming up with one solution at a time, and hoping that eventually people will start seeing technology from a different point of view without being feeling threatened by it, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We when we started this interview, we kind of thought the interview was going to go that way, but now because you open our minds kind of a bit, it is you kind of thinking differently about technology, especially in our rural areas and like the Nyangas, because normally when they talk about technology, they talk about the Mitchell Square areas, um, you know. So you kind of we we I've not actually realized how biased we become that we forget about the other sections. the other kids that is now stuck at home. Um, Oftentimes we like throughout the COVID we said, kids must can do their schoolwork through technology, but now we actually realize how many kids were stuck at home not being able to do this. Maybe don't even have a phone to do WhatsApp and all of these things, chat to the teacher to keep on track. And now we also expect them to kind of get to a point of, more ladies must get into the tech world. But if we can't even just solve that little problem, how are we gonna encourage them to take up a skill like Java or anything else like that? Because like you say, if it's only one person in the community, that person must do like such a lot, because now you must motivate, you must encourage, and you must teach the tech, which is a lot. So it causes a lot of burnout on you.
Yeah, and Bianca, and you're just reminding me, I had a chat with my old school teacher from Cape Town. He's now based in the city, and he's a principal for a high school there in the rural areas. And he was expressing to me how he found the high school. He's in his fourth year now as a principal of the school. How he found the school at 0% pass rate for matriculants, and then now I think I stand to be corrected. They are now at 80% pass rate of the matriculants. He did that change within 3 years, and now I was asking him, so what do you think is the problem? Why can't you get into 100% of the matriculants pass rate? He's like, Gloria, these kids are coming from different homes, and you can only control so much of a child. You can only influence so much of a child's life as a principal. And you must remember, our schools in the rural areas, we don't have internet, we don't have computers, we don't have any connection to the digital world. And you're supposed to teach students and get them to pass metric and go and compete with students that are coming from homes of parents that are digital savvy, that have taught them to even uh, do computer software. Do
Yeah.
computer engineering from high school age, because they've got parents that can channel them and can give them tech tools and resources in order for them to be able to compete with people that have graduated before they even finish matric, because they've got access to the digital space, which is where all the information now is being stored. So
Mm.
if you need to study, if you need anything, go there. There's always a free course to do. But now, if you don't have access to it, how do you do it? If you are a principal, you've got these poor students looking up to you and putting their hopes for their future on your shoulders, and
Mm.
you are powerless. You can't connect them. You can only take them so far. So it's quite frustrating and complex, but we are trying, we're engaging, we're talking, and we are trying to find solutions. We are trying to talk to people on with the higher powers to help us, and we'll just keep trying until something happens.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I would love to be part of that, because I mean we also work with kids in schools, but like I said, we are more kind of privy because the school that we work in, Mitchell's Plain, they all have Wi-Fi. The kids are kind of on track almost. Um, and what I like to do is I always like to work with the kids to try and understand, because you can't help others if you don't understand it. So in that way, I would like to help, even if it's just to understand and bring a bit more awareness to the situation. Because like I said, and
Um,
as you
Yana, I think I lost you for a moment. Could you please repeat the last few
okay,
things you said?
like I said, the all the awareness you're bringing now, I would like to be part of that. As you said, you guys are constantly talking about certain issues that is arising, and because we work with kids in Mitchell's Plain, but I, what I feel now is a bit more privy, because they do have connections to Wi-Fi, the libraries, and all of these things, and they are a bit more tech savvy. I like to, before delving into, solving anything, I like to understand it first. So I would really like to be part of that program that you're busy with. Um, but even if it's just to bring a bit more awareness to the issue, because like you
Mm.
now rightfully mentioned, we expect kids to do so much when they go to university, but they're really like 4 steps behind, because now they don't know how to work the computer that they need to work on when they get to university, which puts them two
Exactly.
steps back. And then we still want them to get into this technology world. And I mean, why we doing this for Women's Month is to get to understand what everyone is going through and to bring a bit more kindness to the whole situation. And like I said, when we started off the interview, we were all like keen with like, ooh, what technology is out there and all of these things. But now we're getting a different perspective, which is wonderful, because we didn't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we can go on and say yes, you guys must get into technology as women, we now see a lot of the challenges that is arising. So thank you for that. What you say you guys have spoken about it. What are some maybe solutions that you guys came up with?
When you say you guys, which statement are you referring to? Because
You
hey,
said
I'm
you
doing a lot
you said you
now.
you said you're part of a group and you guys are discussing all of the issues that is around the rural areas with regards to technology. So maybe you can just chat through the fact of what is some of the solutions you think could happen when it comes to that.
When it comes to technology for the rural areas, first things first, people need to be given resources so that they are able to do what they are advised to do to empower themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to rural areas, that's all. They just need to give people what they need in order to have access to the digital world. When it comes to the township, like your Nyanga, your Kukuletu in Cape Town,
Mm-hmm.
people have Facebook, have cell phones, but now the problem is that they are overpopulated in small locations, small townships. 10 people are staying in the same house, but it's a very tiny house. So you don't even have the privacy to have meetings or study. You have people with
Um,
different lifestyles in the same house. The other one is a party animal. The other one is studying. The other one is just doing their own thing. So it makes people uncomfortable in this space because we are raised and trained to be employees and be only effective and productive in the workspace, which is in town. Now we're locked out to stay in the communities where there's no connection to the internet. So how are we supposed to be productive and creative in that space? You
mm,
know? So
mm,
moving
mm,
from those ones, coming to the suburbs now, like me, the fortunate ones who've got officers or parents and are able to have these tech tools. Our parents are only tech savvy to a certain extent, meaning that they know that there's something there and they point us to that direction. But for you
mm,
to be able to maximize on that, you need to be surrounded by people that are in the same
mm,
space that understand the digital world. So you
mm,
find yourself, you are alone in the house, people don't understand what you're doing, you're always sitting in front of the computer, they assume that you are chatting and doing useless things on social media. So you get discouraged because you don't have a team, you don't have people around you that are living the
mm,
same lifestyle that you are trying to live so that you
mm,
understand that you are on the right path. So you
mm,
find yourself now displaced and you have to now find a way into those spaces and keep yourself into that space. And
mm,
it's hard
mm,
because technology is moving so fast. You're trying to keep up at the same time. You want to be a bridge for others. So
mm,
it's confusing. We just don't know. We're doing what we can. You speak about it whenever you can. You keep yourself in the spaces where you can learn more with people that are in the same space because technology is broad. There's
mm,
engineering, there's
mm,
software,
mm,
there's hardware, there's just a lot. And when I was in Varsity College, I chose to do hardware. So after I
mm,
graduated from there, people are expecting that I'm a master of technology and they'll asking me questions about computer software, which I know absolutely nothing about. Then I'll feel embarrassed that, oh, maybe whatever that I was doing, it wasn't worth it because I'm not surrounded by the right people. I'm surrounded by people who don't understand this thing that I'm doing, and even myself, I'm still a student in it. I can't explain it, so you get discouraged and end up, moving out of the way and going back into the working space and laboring. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I think I understand that my husband is in IT, so he's also mostly like in so they expect him to fix the phone, they expect him to fix the laptop, they expect him to, to fix the
Mhm.
TV because he's into the IT, and he's only into like certain parts. So maybe he's like good with software, but maybe not hardware. So yeah, so we understand all of that. You need to fix the whole world. Yes. So there is a lot of awareness that still needs to happen within the IT space before we can move on to things like programming and all of these things that makes it fun for IT, and creating
Mm,
apps and all of these things that we can teach the kids. But it's like awareness first and how you can adapt it to your business maybe, because we're still working like with paper and books sometimes when we can use like a software program quickly and then update everything on there and there you go. So yeah, I hear what
mm,
you say. There's a lot of awareness that needs to happen around how IT can um, be beneficial to you and your community and your business. That is like in a nutshell that needs to happen still. Okay,
mm.
so in your business, because you said you are a director, uh, what do you guys do in your business? Is it also linked to IT?
Okay. Let me start from the beginning before I open the business so that you understand the story very well. I was After I graduated from Capacity, so they give us coaching and bring organization to come and employ us. So I went through a lot of interviews and no one would take me. And eventually I got to be employed by AIZATRON, which is
Mm-hmm.
an IT company, but I was not
Okay.
into development. I was hired as an administrator, office
Mm-hmm.
administrator, and a CEO. So whilst I was working there, I was a PA to the CEO, and I was shadowing him, running his diary. So I learned a lot about running your own business, and I started aspiring to own my own business. And eventually, I even found myself running the company meetings between the project manager and the development team. So I would have now programmers reporting to me so that I can give feedback to the project manager. And I was like, no, I don't think I want to be a programmer. I don't want to code. I want to run my own company, and then I'll employ coders that just graduated from school and give them a platform where they can practice their skills. And then we'll just come up with IT solutions, whatever. It's just an open creative space where we can just be creative and come up with whatever solution. So it was inspired by Mr. Ansu Sooful, but unfortunately, as the lockdown came, I started being unemployed, and then that's when I had time to actually open my own business, which I
Mm-hmm.
co-direct with my sister Vipisa, so it's owned by two females. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we are now busy trying to set up a business plan and direction for our company that will work for us. But the main point of the company is humanity, is community development, is to just empower people in general. Also, these capacity programs, they empower women who have their own businesses based in Cape Town, so they give you tech tools to understand what's going on in the digital space, in the
Mm-hmm.
world economy, so you can be able to relate into that space. So I want also to be an example so that the rest of the females in the Cape Town community can be encouraged and empowered to open their own business. I want to be a living example and be able to qualify for these programs that
Mm-hmm.
empower them and show them the opportunities out there, because there's endless opportunities. Just start, open a business, an idea will come in later. We just need to start from somewhere. Learn how to open your own business, learn how to be tax compliant, learn how to do things in the digital space so that you can be able to see opportunities because they are all there.
I hear you. So it's more a fact that your business is gonna give opportunities to other um, programmers or coders that there's a space to work underneath you guys, and then also
Not
empower other. You can continue
not
on.
really. Sorry. I want it to be a bridge because these programs are meant to empower people, but people cannot reach the program. So I feel like I need to do something to be a bridge so that people can be able to access those programs. I don't have resources to give those programs myself to the people, but there are people who have those programs, but people don't know about it or can't access it, whatever the reason. So the business is meant to be a bridge between the community and the programs like Capacity that
Okay.
are sponsored by the government and the city of Cape Town. So we just need connection, and I'm just afraid.
Hmm. I hear you. So you're gonna be the bridge. I did now put on for those people who want to. There's a thing on Facebook called Cape IT Initiative. That is where they train you. So they first take you through a 6 weeks training. You can do it online. Um, to they bring a bit more awareness to your program about what is happening, how technology can help you in your business, and then you go on to like a 6 month course after that, where it's more mentoring, where you now use the technology in your business to kind of improve it. So it's a free course. It's mostly aimed at women. So if you are a woman and you want to do this course, you can. And you get a certificate as well. I think that is the one Gloria was talking about, because it's called Women in Business, that you can also do. And then I'm just trying to find the other link that I will also send you. They also have a lot of um, programs for women within the IT space. So you can learn to code, you can learn to um, I don't know the IT languages, but there's like Java, there's all of these things that you can do. Gloria will probably be able to tell you a bit more about what the languages are, because I don't speak computer. Um, so that is all options just for you to like wet your feet a bit before you dive in. You can do that. Um, so I'm just looking for that stream. But while I'm doing that, here's a lot of people that's saying, "Hi, ladies, I'm loving your African attire, Gloria." There is I do not know how to pronounce that name. She says hello to you. Patricia says hello. She says it's Happy Women's Month. So if you are, I'll keep the link on. That is a nice space to go on. And then what other um it's called IT Varsity. That is what it's called. That you can also go on there, and they try and promote a lot of courses, like I said, for the women and also youth in IT. So that is something that, if you feel that is an option for you, you can also do that. Let me just put that up there. So it's called IT Varsity. Okay. So if there is people out there, Patricia, Gloria, that maybe wants to come on board with your initiatives, as you said, in the areas such as Gooks and Nyanga and all of those things. What is the help that you guys still need?
um, Jennifer, I get approached by a lot of people. I was recently approached by a pilot school based in Vonderboom, and they have another branch, I think, in Nelspruit. They
Hmm.
want to empower 10 young females in South Africa who just matriculated with an aviation engineering program. But
Okay.
these people now, they have issues of funding, and they're stuck at funding now. They need 10 million to accommodate 10 females for this aviation program. So they will
Hmm.
approach me. I don't know. It's made of cosmetics. You know, they say programmers are magicians. to say, Gloria, we've got this program, we need 10 million. Where can we get 10 million? And I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got quite a lot of schools. So I've got pilot schools approaching me about programs they want to outgrow to empower women. I've got like the high school principal that I was talking about from Eastern Cape in the rural areas in the city saying, Gloria, where can we get computers for our children? I've got IT schools coming to me and saying we've got IT programs. I've got people who have got training for cell phone repairs. They say we want to train students from the township dropouts to fix cell phone repairs. But now, the resources and the space to do that, that's the problem. So there are people, a lot of them that approach me, but they are all stuck at funding. And there are students, a lot of them, but they are all stuck at no opportunities.
Ah, okay. So you're kind of in the middle of you can, but there's no space for the kids to go, or you don't have the funding to buy the products that you guys need to continue on. Is that the issue?
Yeah, because you must understand now the places like Capacity Tech Accelerator programs, they've got hubs in town. So when they
Mm.
recruit, they're expecting students to come and attend classes within
Uh,
their hubs so you can have access to computers, Wi-Fi, and all of that. Now we are in lockdown, they are closed down, and the programs are still continuing. So they are only accessible to those who have resources. You understand?
mm,
So if you're stuck
mm,
in the township, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have, you're in the Eastern Cape, you are locked out of those programs, even though they were meant for you. They end up being benefited by people who are not even in Cape Town, even though they are sponsored by the city of Cape Town and facilitated in Cape Town. You can do it virtually because you are tech savvy. You can do it in
mm.
Joburg, and I am in Joburg and doing programs in Cape Town as much as I'm original from Cape Town, but I can't afford to do them in Cape Town because there are no resources there. So I register in Cape Town and come to Joburg so that I'm able to be in a space where I can have unlimited access.
Okay, okay. So now you are in the Joburg space,
Mm.
but you can also help a lot in like the Cape Town space. Okay, so do you mind if I
I
put your
am
contact?
actually,
Hmm?
sorry,
Do you
no,
mind if I
I
put
am
your
actually
contact
based,
details on there?
no, I don't.
Okay. So if anyone has a space for to help Gloria, as you can hear, as we started off this interview, it became about tech and how we can empower women into getting into the tech industry. But throughout the interview, we actually found out there's such a lot of challenges. These not obstacles, these challenges that they need to overcome first. So challenges such as a hosting space. There's a lot of other opportunities that she has where people can teach the kids, but then there's no space for the kids to go in within the townships of Gooks, Nyanga, Kailicha, that they can go. Other obstacles that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is they need a bit of more resources when it comes to computers and all of these things. So there's people to teach, but there's not um, enough resources to do that, to teach the kids. And if it is, then they need to maybe pay for it, and there's already not enough funds for them to pay for it. Am I on the right track there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she is currently in Joburg, but there's a huge, but she's also in the Nyanga Gook space, and that is where it seems the biggest of the issues is she's also in contact with principals that would also like to expand technology awareness within the community. Um, so she will be the bridge between all of these hands that wants to help. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So yeah, there's another comment for you that says quite impressive what you're doing. That is definitely wonderful. Thanks, Gloria, for what you're doing. So if anyone else wanna maybe partner up with you, your number is on there. They can contact you. And like I said, they have done the research already. And when we spoke or starting this interview, we thought it's going to be all about, what is out there, but we can't talk about what is on out there if not everyone is yet accessible to it or understand it. So it would seem that there need to be a bit more of an awareness um, first before, and like you said, it becomes a lot lonelier if you in the space alone, and so you fall out much quicker because there's no you have to the upstream swim is a bit more difficult than for anyone else to do it when it comes to our Nyanga areas, the Gooks areas to do it. Um, what I've also heard you said was that if they actually do get a space, it gets broken into a lot. So there's also that happens when it comes to the kids or teaching the kids. So there's a lot of security that also needs to be helped. So even if you can't help into the IT space, there's also help when it comes to security. But again, I'm saying thank you for, I guess, the awareness that is happening tonight. Um, and let me just say, I mean, big ups for you for what you've done already. I would be tired.
Thank you.
I would be very tired.
I am.
I would be very
I need to
tired.
go to a spa.
I would be very
And it's
tired because
sometimes Gloria is tired. Kidding, kidding,
because I
kidding,
mean
kidding.
it's a lot to do because you need to
Yeah,
constantly
it is. Yeah,
motivate
it is.
people to
Yeah.
get into a space that is eventually that is the world that we are moving into. Um, so I mean, big ups for your determination and your perseverance for doing it. Like I said, I don't mind. I would really like to speak to you offline a bit more about what you're doing. Um, because it sounds very interesting and challenging, I guess. And then we will definitely need to talk about this a bit more because we are under the misconception that technology is everywhere and that we all just need to get onto the bus and drive with it. But a lot of the areas, the there still needs roads needs to be built before the bus can even come there. So
Mhm.
so yeah, thank you for that. I mean, is there any just just to bring it back to a bit of women's month theme, what does it mean for you to be a woman in this day and age?
Oh, what does it mean for me to be a woman in this day and age? I feel like I've said, I'm one of the fortunate ones because I've been exposed to a lot. I've had a lot of opportunities. I've been given opportunities by a lot of people. So all that's left for me to do is just to give it back to someone else. So I'm kind of running a relay. Being a woman in South Africa, it means to me that I've got a responsibility to other women to empower them, to help them, to loosen the burden on their shoulders. And the only way we can do that, South African females, is through the digital world. The robots can replace our labor, and we can be afforded time to get creative and do whatever it is that we love to do. So South African females, let's empower digital tech world.
Uh, I like you that you say that we do have a responsibility to help our fellow sisters out. But I also heard what you said way in the beginning of the interview, where you said it's like you have gone now, you're done with the matric, but there's such a lot of pressure on you to now do good. Um, so how did that pressure make or break you as a woman?
Well, you know what they say. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So I choose to be strong. I can't be a failure in the digital world. I started it in 2004. I was advanced. I started earlier than everyone else. So the pressure is on me. All I have to do is just keep on moving and I'm not going back. So I don't have a choice because I'm one of the few. That's just the thing. There's nowhere to hide. I didn't want to do this interview. I don't like public speaking, but then if I don't do it, who will? So it's that kind of a situation. I think my mother trusts me. I will try it, but I don't have a choice. It's all the way up. Forward we go. Let's empower each other, South African females.
Even though you were very nervous, um, you done brilliantly. Yeah, I think we needed to have you on the show because it would have been easier maybe to get someone that talks tick 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 the whole time. But now what you've done a lot more for us, which is expose a bit more. So now we are a bit more cleverer, we are a bit more informed, um, we are a bit more appreciative, we are a bit more understanding of what is going on in other parts that we don't always go into. So thank you for that. If it wasn't for you that was on the show, we would have maybe not known, and the show would have just been about the next tech that's out there and what we must do to be in the tech world. But now you have really brought a lot of awareness to an issue that I think a lot of people did not know of. So thank you for that. We now know how to work better when it comes to our girls in townships, um, because they're also going to be mothers. They're also going to have businesses. That is what we want, but we need to do more to get them into that stage, um, that is there. So again, if you are a lady and you're on this show, we do have a lot of Facebook pages that you can go on. The Cape Initiative, Cape IT Initiative, is where you can do. You start off with a 6 week course. It's a quick 6 week course, once a week. You do that, and then once you completed that for 6 weeks, they ask you if you want to do it for 10 months. That is where you more implement what you've learned in the 6 weeks into your business, and that's more of a mentoring system, right? Then you have IT Varsity. They are a bit more. They wanna get your feet and everything wet with IT. So they will teach you about the Java and the Vitivati and the Vitivati. But contact them. They will explain it to you. You will be able to talk to a computer. You will speak the language of a computer if you want to, if you feel
Mhm.
to do that. So even if you
Mhm.
do the two courses in parallel with each other, you will be able to now speak to the computer and also know, like
Mhm.
Gloria now, how to implement it into a business. So we have learned now that there is a difference between how technology is accepted within the different cultures, and we also learned about the challenges of it, right? And Gloria, wonderful work that she has done. Please contact her. She has her hand fully in the areas such as Nyanga and Cooks. What other areas are you in Cape Town?
Um, the Nyanga and Cook in general, Nyanga in general, because it's formed of Kukuletu, New Crossroads, and some other areas close by Philippi, and also Nyanga is just an umbrella for a
There
few
we go.
townships.
Nyanga and Cooks, if you want to get involved and if you want to train kids, if you want to train women in that area, please contact Gloria. Her number is there. She will hook you up. She's also in Joburg, so as you will Joburg to gaan. You can also talk to her there. Die vrou is connected. Um, yes. Akifa is saying that IT Varsity is also provides accredited training in coding. So apparently she is there, and there is called an aptoneo. What? Anyway, but you contact Akifa. So
Aptrinia, Aptrinia,
Akifa and Gloria
Aptrinia,
is gonna talk, and
Apprinia.
then hey, hallelujah. You see, I am not talking to computers, so I don't know these things, eh? So The computer talked to itself. I talk to myself. So I think Gloria is going to talk because it seems they're talking the same language. And then from this, we are going to create a network because next year, Women's Month, we want to have more girls come onto this show and talk about IT. Right, Gloria? That is our
Yay.
mission. That is our mission.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to create a nice network now, and we are going to connect with each other, and we're going to understand what the challenges is amongst us, and we are going to try and equip our girls and our mothers and maybe still our grandmothers, the hip grandmothers. We're still going to equip them. So ending off, is there any words of wisdom for Women's Month that you want to maybe impart on us?
Um, all I can say to us fellow consumers, ladies, let's persevere, let's push hard. It is the way it is. All we can do is just find a way out of the situation. Crying about it doesn't help. Complaining about it doesn't help. Counting problems without looking for solutions doesn't help. So let's hold hands because the top is lonely. The digital world is lonely. You can't do anything alone. That's why I'm
Hmm.
here trying to preach so that I can have company. So let's hold hands and lift our country. Let's
Yeah.
take over.
Yeah.
Let's take over.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah. So if you want to just follow Gloria.
Ask the
So
Oliver where to find me. She'll point you to the right direction.
your number is over the whole Facebook, so the people will find you after this. So
Please, guys,
yeah.
don't call me. Just check.
Yes, this is only for IT people. This is not for dates. This is only for IT. Don't
Yes,
don't don't
yes,
come and
yes,
hook up
yes.
for dates. Yes, yes, only IT. We're
I
only
don't
doing
have time. I
IT.
don't have time. I'm working all the time. It's so funny. I wake up in the morning in front of the computer. I'm inside my blankets. I'm on my phone. There is no rest. So if you're dating on,
Yeah,
we are catching
yeah.
up. Women, let's catch up. Let's forget the men. Let's catch up now. Let's empower ourselves so they'll find us forward.
Exactly. We have one more comment before we end off. Jackie says it's all French to me, the digital world. Love your positive outlook, Gloria. I will grow in this space still. So you see, you already empowered one woman. Okay. So thank you, Gloria, for all that you've done, for all the awareness you've brought to this space. Please connect up with Akifa, or Akifa will connect up with you, because it looks already there's like already a space for you guys to connect. I will connect up with you on a different space so that we can understand a bit more and bring a bit more awareness to what our girls in the other side of just across the road is going through, and just work through everything a little bit more. But thanks for your time for tonight, bringing awareness. I know you were very nervous, but you done very well. Thank you for what you've done, and I really seek a blessing over your business, especially for what you are trying to achieve in when it comes to women in business and girls in business. We will get there. We will get there. We just need to connect up with each other. So again, thank you for what you've doing already, and thank you for your time for joining us on this show. Okay.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate you for showing me this platform, and thank you for your vote of confidence having me in your show. And may you do more for other women out there, and we hold hands and empower each other. Just continue empowering each other. We need each other, Palestinian women. Let's build each other.
There we go.
Thank you.
Let's let's build each other. And with that, we're gonna
Mm.
end of our show tonight. Tomorrow night we will be on again, 8 till 9, and we're talking about pregnancies. Jackie, as jy nog op is, no more pregnancies for you and me. Also is altyd I see out the boat. No more pregnancies. Gloria, if you're pregnant, tomorrow night.
No to babies. We're empowering ourselves now. Cut. Good night.
For those, yes, for those who are pregnant, we are talking about pregnancies, how to prepare yourself for the hospital or even home birth if you want to. Very popular these days. And just how to prepare yourself, your body, because whatever you are experiencing as a mother will be passed on to the child. So tomorrow, pregnancies and babies we are talking about. Gloria, no more babies, okay? No more babies.
No more babies for me. My figure. Please. Can't mess up this figure. Good night.
So good night,
Nice talking
everyone.
to you.
See you tomorrow night. Bye.